Hello world, this is Evan Yearwood himself, coming live and direct from New York. This is E.Y.E, the Evan Yearwood Experience. So, back on track, back moving and creating content on a consistent basis. This week, I'm going to talk about my vast experience in the network marketing industry. Now, even in this day and age of technology and widespread information, the democratization of knowledge, people are still confused and even outright misled by the true nature of this industry called network marketing. Now, majority of you probably don't even know what network marketing is. And if you do, maybe you've heard some negative things about network marketing. And if you don't have anything negative to say about network marketing, it's probably because you're in network marketing and it has tremendously impacted your life in an incredible way, kind of like me. Now, today I'm not trying to pitch anybody or convince anybody about network marketing, because personally I don't care if you are with it or against it. But I do want to talk about my personal experience because I'm not actively in the industry anymore. But without a doubt, it has massively shaped my life and improved it incredibly. Now, when I initially got involved with network marketing, it was with a company. I'm still with this company. It's called ACN, and they sell utility services. So they offer services like gas, electricity, cell phone, TV, internet, identity theft protection, all these essential services. And you sell people these services, and you get paid a percentage of the bill every single month. Now, that sounds pretty awesome, right? Because it's a passive income. So I got involved with that company, so that was 2013, almost 10 years ago. And I got involved with it because I thought it was an incredible opportunity. And it absolutely was, right? I had other opportunities going for me at the time, right? I was acting. I was part of a major agency. They're Nouveau Talent Management. You should look them up. They'll definitely get you hooked up with the best auditions out there, the national commercials, the best modeling magazines. This is how I was in 17 magazine and Teen Vogue when I was younger. This is how I was able to get on TV on CBS because of that agency. So I had other opportunities, but this seems so much more lucrative because I can build a business that's mine, willable, sellable, and also the work that I do today, I'll get paid for years and years and years. And I can attest that today I'm still getting paid from work that I did 8 years ago, which is absolutely amazing and mind-boggling to think about. But yeah, initially I wanted to become the best of the best in the industry of network marketing. I wanted to be a household name in that industry. That was definitely my major goal. But as of recently, I've had a total change in passion, and I can say that before I used to want to be known and be an expert in what I do the best, because in ACN, there's a level of excellence that I've never seen before, ever. A level of leadership and integrity that is so profound. You can explain some of these things to people and they just wouldn't even get it. Some of these people, you wouldn't even believe that they exist, that you can even reach this level of personal growth, and then just being surrounded by those people that just dug deep and became the best version of themselves. It just inspired me to want to be the best version of me. But as of recently, I can say that, the massive money you can make and the notoriety that comes with it, honestly, I'm just not interested in those things anymore. And it's so weird. Maybe it's a product of me growing up or getting older. Not to say that, it's wrong to want those things. Who knows? Maybe in a year or two from now, maybe that will be my what I want to be, the poster child, the best of the best, the number one guy. But now that's not what I want. I don't want to be known. I kind of want to be like unknown. I want to be the guy that's traveling the world. I want to be a nomad. I want to be in 17 different countries every quarter of the year. I don't want to be the guy that's responsible for a whole organization like I used to be. I don't know. It's so strange to say these things because that's been my goal for so long, and on that mission to become that person, I've done a lot to put myself in a position to do that, the type of connections that I've made, the type of personal growth that I've made. So I want to talk about that, because then I wouldn't trade anything for. I would, the education that I've gotten, just being surrounded by these people that are just onward, upward, mobile people that are serious players. I want to talk about the impact that that's had. Now, some of these things I'm going to say might sound so simple, but just like I always talk about in this podcast, it's always the simple things people look over. People are always overlooking the simple things. And one of the things that I realized about success, because in this industry, they teach you that if you want to be successful, you must study success, because success leaves clues. If you look at the most successful women and men in the world, you'll find commonalities about the things that they do. They're persistent, they're confident, they write their goals down, they show up every single day, they have communication skills, they know how to lead people, how to cooperate with people, they have a certain competence in whatever they're doing, right? They're a competent doctor, they're a competent engineer, they're a competent scientist. So there's commonalities in successful people, and this industry teaches you to look at those commonalities and then implement them in your own self, right? So I really like that. And one of the biggest things that I started doing immediately when I got involved with this industry is reading. My mentor used to tell me all the time, he would say, Evan, if you want to be a leader, leaders are readers. Reading. It is absolutely sad the amounts of people that don't read. Now, mind you, to be honest, I don't really read that much. I actually listen. I listen to audiobooks. In the beginning, I definitely read a lot, but audiobooks is my thing. I love to listen to the audiobooks, and I'll listen to a book 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then I'll go and buy the book and then read, and then it ingrains like the information even deeper in my being. But that's usually only in the books that I've decided and dedicated to studying, like the book that I'm currently reading right now, The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, which talks about consciousness. But yes, reading. There are some fundamental ideas that people truly just don't understand. And the thing about knowledge, every single thing that you know is built upon something else that you know. In fact, I'll prove it to you. The only way you can learn something is if somebody explains this new idea through a concept that you already understand. This is why in kindergarten you learn how the numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then as you go on to higher grades, you use that number, that first level of understanding, and then you start applying a higher level of use to that understanding, which is addition and then subtraction. And then after you get to that level, now you can use those first two foundations to do higher complex things like division and multiplication and all these different more advanced uses of mathematics until you get to calculus, and now you're doing physics. But you would never be able to do physics unless you had that foundation of knowledge in numbers. If you didn't know how to count, you could never do physics. Can we agree? So in the beginning, I had all these foundational ideas that I learned through reading books that you have definitely heard before. Think and Grow Rich, right? As a Man Thinketh, right? Listening to the audio by Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret, or a book by Maxwell Maltz, Psycho-Cybernetics. Psycho meaning mind, cybernetics means how it works. So psycho-cybernetics means how the mind works. Reading that book, these books built a foundation of ideas about how my mind works, my subconscious mind, that put me on a path of understanding that most people never take the time to do, which is sad because our mind is the most powerful faculty that we've been given. And we overlook it so often because here's the thing, whatever you have been given for free, you take for granted, right? So you've been given this amazing mind that has so many neural networks that even the greatest supercomputer cannot even compete with the power of your mind. We take it for granted. We have no idea how it works. The way we operate our mind can be compared to a very, very, very short child trying to drive a monster truck through New York. It just doesn't work. We're stuck. We're unable to operate this vehicle called our mind correctly. And it's mainly because we haven't been taught these basic ideas about how your mind works. For example, something that you might already know is you have two parts of your mind, right? You have your conscious mind, which is the mind that you're using to listen to what I'm saying. This is the mind that you use to do addition and subtraction. This is the mind that you use to think, right? This accounts for 1 to 5% of your mental activity. And then the second part of your mind, which is your unconscious mind or subconscious mind, this accounts for 95 to 99% of everything that you do and think. For example, your heart is beating right now. If you're sitting down, it's probably a 75 BPM to 85 BPM. If you're standing, it's 90 to 100. If you're running, it'd probably be 135 to 150. If you're sprinting, maybe it'd be 180. You're not the one that's consciously adjusting your beats per minute, right? It's your subconscious that's doing this automatically. In fact, 95 to 99% of everything that you do every single day, you're doing it unconsciously. So what this implies is that if you want to be successful at any endeavor that you want, if you know you need to change your habitual actions, but if your habitual actions are all unconscious, that means that you need to change your unconscious mind. But here's where the problem comes up. Your unconscious mind is built so deep into your brain that it wants to continue on the path that it's already on. Meaning, if you've been doing something for 10 years, it is more inclined to stay doing that thing for it is more inclined to stay doing the same thing than changing. This is why it can be difficult for somebody that doesn't have a history being in the gym, developing the habit to be in the gym, because their body, their mind is so used to not working out, so used to staying on their routine, that it's like you're having withdrawal symptoms from being in your regular routine. So how do you do this? How do you get out of this tendency to stay in where you are right now? How do you get out of this routine that your mind wants you to stay in? This is what change is about. And this type of information only really matters to people that care about improving themselves. And here's why it's important to improve yourself. Anything that's meant to be is up to me. You need to say that. Because truly mature people, true people that make major impacts on the world, they never start with the world first. They start with themselves first. This is where the quote comes from: if you want to change the world, change yourself, right? Don't go out to change the world, change who you are, because the world is a reflection of you. Right? So if you want to have this change, you need to begin with your subconscious mind. So how to do that is much more simpler than you could possibly imagine. But the only way to understand this, how to do it, you need to understand a few things about the way the subconscious mind works and the relationship between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. Just mind is the thinker. It thinks thoughts, it thinks images. And your subconscious mind, or your unconscious mind, is the prover. It proves things. It doesn't think, it just proves things. So the thinker thinks and the prover proves. So if you think that you are what's a great example? If you think you are no good, if you think you are incompetent, if you think you are not enough, the prover, your unconscious mind, will prove these things through your actions. And then what happens, it creates a mental loop, because now you've proven, because you thought that you're no good, so the prover has to prove it. So you do that by not taking action, or not signing up for the talent show, not going to talk to that girl that you really wanted to talk. And it creates, and then you now experience what you thought. So now you're looking at everything that you've done through the prover, and it reinforces what you think. See, I definitely am no good because I don't have any talent. I won't go talk to this girl. So I must be no good. And because now you've reinforced this thought with evidence and feeling, this impresses your unconscious mind even more, and that even more and then now your unconscious mind proves even more what you're thinking. So in order to break this loop, you have to change what your unconscious mind is receiving through impressions. So in the book Think and Grow Rich, he says, the dominating thoughts of your mind will eventually reproduce themselves into outward physical action. And that action will gradually transform itself into physical reality. So physical reality comes from your dominating thoughts. It'll transform itself into physical reality. So therefore, you must concentrate your thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person you wish to become, thereby creating a clear mental picture of that person. Now, you might have heard of this before, so I want to add something that is a determining factor, the most important factor for you to successfully impress your subconscious mind. This can explain the reason why many people, through affirmation and prayer and meditation, never successfully impress their subconscious mind. Feeling is the secret. If you think a thought that implies who you wish to become, for example, I am strong. Even though you're weak, you continue to say, I am strong, I am strong. You can say until you're blue in the face, I am strong. But it won't mean anything. It won't impress your unconscious mind at all. It will do nothing unless you feel that you are strong. See, the purpose of an affirmation, the purpose of a prayer, the purpose of meditation is to induce the feeling of the wish that you want to happen. If you want to be strong and you affirm that you are strong, you have to actually feel that you are strong. It's not the thought that impresses your mind, your subconscious mind. It's only the feeling. And in proportion that you can feel that what you want is true is how fast it'll manifest in your being. This is why in the Bible it says that as you pray, believe that you have received it and you shall receive it. That belief that you've received it is actually the feeling that you've received it. So 99% of people that are praying are actually not even doing it correctly. You need to feel that what you're praying for is true. And drop it. When you look at the word amen, amen literally means it is done. It's an affirmation that it is done. So you don't worry about it anymore because you have this feeling. Another way to look at this feeling or what this feeling is that you're seeking whenever you're trying to change the concept of yourself through the subconscious mind, the feeling of being this person already or having what you want is called faith. That's what real faith is. Faith isn't hoping. Oh, have faith. When somebody says that, have faith, like they're saying it in the context of just like stay hopeful. No, don't be hopeful. Having faith means feeling that what you want is already true. Here's why feeling is the most important. Feeling is the way that your subconscious mind changes its interpretation. Your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate something that is true and something that is not true. The only way it can tell if something's true is if you have emotion, right? And it interprets emotion as truth. So if you feel deeply within your heart that you are nothing, then your subconscious mind has to prove that. It interprets that as complete truth. If you vividly imagine a scene and you feel as though you are actually there, your mind actually believes that it's there. Your subconscious mind believes, and scientists have taken this and shown this and proved this in so many different scenarios, like the placebo effect. People with tumors the size of golf balls are given sugar pills and told that this is an experimental drug, and the way that the drug is presented, they're convinced that this pill will heal them, and when they take it, they feel that this is true and accept and surrender to this idea that this is going to help them. And because they feel it so strongly that this pill is going to help them, the tumor actually goes away. It completely disappears. This has been proven time after time after time, the placebo effect. Another study that they did, they took 3 groups of untrained young men that had no muscle. The first group, they told them, I want you to imagine that your right arm is lifting a 15-pound dumbbell every single day for a month. And they said, I want you to feel that you are really straining your arm and lifting it, doing these reps and sets, right? Don't actually move your arm. Just imagine with emotion and feeling that you're lifting this 15-pound dumbbell. That was group 1. Group 2, they had them actually lift a 15-pound dumbbell with the same reps and sets as group 1. And then group 3 was the control group. They had them do nothing. And astonishingly, 30 days later, this was the result. Group 3 had no increase of muscle mass, right? As expected, they did nothing. Group 2 had an increase of muscle mass. As expected, they lifted weights. But what do you think happened to group 1? They also had an increase of muscle mass. But one can argue, didn't they do nothing? I mean, all they did was imagine that they were lifting weights. But the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between something that you vividly imagine with emotion and something that is actually happening. So because how powerful your subconscious mind is, it appropriated a higher level of muscle mass to accompany the new strain that was happening on the arm that it believed that it was experiencing. Isn't that incredible? That is just further proof that a person, a man or woman that masters the ability to control their mind and convince their subconscious mind that they have something, that they are something. The thinker thinks and the prover proves. The unconscious mind had to prove what the thinker was thinking, which was lifting those imaginary weights. Now, I can talk all day about this, and I will do another podcast information explaining this. I would recommend you go and pick up some books that talk about the mind. For this episode, I will recommend the book Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Mr. Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon, and over the years, he noticed that some of the people he did plastic surgery on had dramatic personality changes once he reconstructed their face. And a lot of people go to him because they were unhappy with their life. They had some severe damage to their face. They had a gross blemish that they wanted removed, and they would go to him so they can feel better about themselves when they looked in the mirror. And some of them had tremendous personality changes, right? Their lives improved for the better because they had this different concept of themselves in their mind. And just as astonishingly, some of them had tremendous personality changes. Some of them experienced no personality change, although looking absolutely beautiful. Some of them still experienced the same grievance that they had about themselves. And he noticed the underlying factor was not what he changed physically. It was what happened mentally. Their mental image of themselves changed, right? The thinker thinks and the prover proves, right? So he lays this out in his book Psycho-Cybernetics, which I explained before earlier, means how the mind works. And this has gone on and won so many awards. It's one of the best-selling books in the personal development industry. I definitely recommend that you go and pick that up yesterday. With that being said, let me hear from you guys in the comments section below. Send this information out to somebody. Somebody needs to hear this. Definitely subscribe, like, if you support what I'm doing. I'm looking to invest in more equipment. Send some money through the Cash App. I'll shout you out on the next video. That's $, Evan Yearwood. With that being said, I look forward to seeing you on the next podcast. This is Evan Yearwood. Peace out.